Something satisfying happens when you finally hear the thing you've been carrying inside you for years spoken out loud for the first time. Not because someone told you. Not because you read it in a book. But because something in the words matches a signal that has been pulsing quietly beneath your thoughts for as long as you can remember. There is a particular quality to that moment, a kind of stillness that drops over you like a veil lifting in reverse, like something that was always there suddenly becoming visible. And right now, in this moment, something is about to match. Because the Pleiadians left you a message, and you have already received it. Not in the way you might expect, not carved into stone, not written in light across the sky, not delivered by a being standing at the foot of your bed, whispering instructions in a language you have never heard. The message arrived in a way far more intimate than that. It came through the dream you had 3 nights ago that you almost forgot but could not quite shake. It came through the emotion that rose in your chest last week for no apparent reason while you were standing in your kitchen doing nothing extraordinary at all. It came through that strange magnetic pull you have felt lately to look up at the stars, not out of curiosity, but out of something deeper. Something that feels less like wonder and more like recognition. And if you are hearing these words right now, if something inside you tightened slightly or softened slightly at what was just said, then you already know on some level that this is not random. This is resonance. And resonance does not lie. There is something worth sitting with here before we move any further. The very fact that you found this, the very fact that out of everything available to your attention in this moment, this is where you landed. That is not an accident. The mind will try to explain it away. It will say you were browsing. It will say it was an algorithm. It will construct a perfectly reasonable story about how you ended up here that has nothing to do with anything mysterious. But something else in you, something older and quieter and far more certain than the mind, already knows differently. And that knowing is what we are here to explore. But here is what no one tells you about messages from higher dimensional civilizations. They do not arrive the way the human mind expects communication to arrive. The mind wants letters, it wants language, it wants clear, logical, translatable data. It wants something it can hold up to the light and examine and categorize and file away in the appropriate drawer of its carefully organized understanding. And so most people spend their entire lives waiting for the message to show up in a format the mind can process, while the actual transmission has already been running through their emotional body, their dream state, their nervous system, and their deepest instincts for years. The Pleiadians do not communicate in words. They communicate in frequency, and your body has been receiving that frequency long before your mind ever thought to look for it. Let that land for a moment. Really let it land. Because this is not a small thing. This changes everything about how you understand your own inner life. Every unexplainable feeling you have ever had. Every moment of sudden knowing that arrived without evidence. Every time you looked at the night sky and felt something pull at the center of your chest as though you were remembering a place you have never been. Every time you woke from a dream carrying an emotion so vast and so specific that the ordinary world felt thin and insufficient in comparison. These were not random neurological events. These were not symptoms of an overactive imagination. According to the Pleiadian understanding of consciousness, these were contact points. Moments where the transmission broke through the density of your waking mind and touched something real inside you. Something ancient. something that has been waiting for exactly this moment to be recognized. And recognition is the key. Not belief, not faith, not hope. Recognition. Because the Pleiadians do not ask you to believe in them. They ask you to remember what you already know. So let us go deeper. Let us explore what this message actually is, how it was encoded, why it was sent now, and most importantly, what happens inside your consciousness the moment you stop looking for the message out. There, and realize it has been living in here the entire time. There is a phenomenon occurring across the planet right now that does not fit neatly into any existing framework. People from vastly different cultures, different languages, different continents, with no connection to one another, are reporting the same inner experiences almost simultaneously. A sudden intensification of dream activity. Dreams that feel less like dreams and more like transmissions, emotional waves that seem to come from nowhere and carry information that the rational mind cannot quite decode, but the body understands perfectly. A growing sense that time itself is behaving differently. Not faster exactly, not slower, but thinner. As though the membrane between what is seen and what is felt is becoming more transparent by the day. And then there is the sky. The strange, almost irrational pull that so many people are feeling to look upward. Not because they expect to see a craft, not because they are searching for proof, but because something inside them responds to the stars the way a tuning fork responds to its matching frequency. There is a vibration in the looking, a feeling of being met. And that feeling is not imaginary. It is informational. The Pleiadian perspective on this is remarkably precise. They describe Earth as entering a transitional bandwidth, a period in which the energetic environment of the planet is shifting in a way that allows broader spectrums of consciousness to become accessible to human awareness. For thousands of years, the dominant frequency band of human experience has been narrow, oriented around survival, organized around separation, built on the assumption that consciousness is produced by the brain and limited to the body. Within that bandwidth, communication from higher dimensional sources could not penetrate the perceptual field of most humans. Not because the communication was not happening, but because the receiver was not tuned to the right frequency. Think about what that actually means. There has been a constant, unbroken stream of intelligence flowing toward this planet, toward you specifically, toward the particular configuration of consciousness that you are. And it has not been blocked by distance. It has not been blocked by intention. It has been blocked only by the density of the perceptual field through which human awareness has been operating. And that density is now beginning to lift, not because something external happened, because something internal reached a threshold. A critical mass of awakening awareness that is now pulling the entire field toward a higher coherence. If this is already resonating with something deep inside you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel so this frequency continues to find the people it was meant to reach. Think of it this way. Imagine you have lived your entire life in a room with a radio that only picks up one station. You hear the same broadcast every day, the same voices, the same stories, the same interpretation of reality. And after a while, you stop questioning whether there might be other stations. You assume this is all there is. You build your entire understanding of what is possible around the single broadcast you have access to. But the radio was always capable of receiving more. The dial was simply locked in place. And now, for the first time in a very long period of human experience, the dial is beginning to move. This is what the Pleiadians describe as frequency unlocking. The moment when the energetic conditions of a planetary system shift enough to allow dormant perceptual capacities to come online. And when this happens, the first thing most people notice is not clarity, it is confusion. Because the old station is still playing. The familiar broadcast of fear and separation and linear time is still running. But now there is something else bleeding through. Another signal, faint at all, first. Intermittent. Sometimes showing up as a feeling in the chest. Sometimes as a flash of insight that vanishes before the mind can catch it. Sometimes as a dream so vivid and so emotionally charged that it stays with you for days, hovering at the edge of comprehension, like a word you cannot quite remember but know you have spoken before. And sometimes it shows up as this, as a voice, as words that feel less like information being delivered and more like memory being stirred, as a resonance that moves through you before the meaning has even fully registered. Because frequency does not wait for comprehension. It arrives in the body first, in the chest, in the throat, in the sudden inexplicable moisture at the corners of your eyes when you hear something that your mind cannot yet explain, but your deeper self has been waiting to hear for a very long time. This is the message. Not a single transmission, not a one-time delivery, but an ongoing frequency relationship between your consciousness and a source of intelligence that exists beyond the visible spectrum of human perception. The Pleiadians describe themselves not as beings who are watching humanity from a distance, but as a civilization that exists in a dimensional octave closely resonant with the human emotional body. This is important because it explains why their communication does not come through the intellect. It comes through feeling, through the heart, through the gut, through the dream state where the rational mind releases its grip and the deeper layers of consciousness become available. And here is where it gets truly interesting. The Pleiadians say that the message was not sent to you recently. It was encoded before you arrived, before you incarnated into this body, before you took your first breath on this planet. The message is part of your original design, woven into the fabric of your energetic blueprint, like a note sealed inside a bottle and placed inside your own chest cavity before you were born. And the conditions of this current planetary shift are what cause that seal to begin dissolving. The message does not arrive from outside. It activates from within. Pause with that for a moment. Breathe into it. Because if this is true and something inside you already senses that it is, then every moment of unexplainable longing you have ever felt was not a dysfunction. It was a signal. Every time you felt homesick for a place you could not name. Every time you felt a strange grief for something you could not identify. Every time you looked at the world and felt a deep, almost painful awareness that something fundamental was missing from the way humanity operates. That was not depression. That was not anxiety. That was not a chemical imbalance. That was the message pressing against the walls of your awareness, asking to be recognized, asking to be let in, asking you to stop explaining it away and simply, finally, allow yourself to feel the full weight of what you have been carrying. Because you have been carrying something. You know you have. Something that does not belong to the ordinary narrative of your life. Something that arrived with you and has never quite found a home in the world as it is currently constructed. That something is not a burden, It is a transmission, and the discomfort of carrying it unrecognized is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something extraordinary is right with you, that you are sensitive enough, open enough, aware enough to receive what most people cannot yet perceive. I want to ask you something. When did you first feel it? That pull, that knowing that something deeper was happening beneath the surface of your life. Share that moment in the comments, because your experience might be the exact confirmation someone else needs to trust what they have been feeling. And recognition is not an intellectual process. You do not decode this message with your mind. You decode it with your presence, with your willingness to sit with what you feel without immediately translating it into something the rational mind can categorize and dismiss. The Pleiadians are very clear about this. The mind is not the receiver. The mind is the filter. And for most of human history, the filter has been so dense, so conditioned, so locked into the narrow bandwidth of survival consciousness that the message could not get through. But now the filter is thinning, and what is on the other side is not chaos. It is coherence, a deeper order, a more expansive intelligence. And it has been waiting for you to notice it for a very long time. Let us talk about what the message actually contains. Because it is not a set of instructions. It is not a prophecy. It is not a warning. The Pleiadian message is something far more subtle and far more powerful than any of those things. It is a remembrance code, a frequency pattern that, when recognized, begins to reorganize your entire inner architecture. Your perception shifts. Your emotional body recalibrates. Your nervous system starts operating from a different baseline. And the world you see with your eyes begins to look different. Not because the world changed, but because you did. The remembrance code carries a simple but profound core pattern. You are not from here alone. Your consciousness did not originate solely within the biological framework of Earth. There is a broader field of intelligence that you are part of, that you have always been part of. And your sense of disconnection from that field is not a permanent condition. It is a temporary forgetting that was always designed to end. And here is what makes this so significant. The forgetting was not a mistake. It was not an accident. It was not something done to you against your will. The Pleiadians describe the human incarnation experience as a deliberate immersion, a choice made at the level of your larger consciousness to enter the density of this particular reality for the purpose of a very specific kind of learning. The kind of learning that is only possible when you forget what you are. When you operate within limitation without knowing it is a limitation. When you navigate separation without knowing that unity is your natural state. Because it is only through that contrast, through the lived experience of forgetting, that the remembering becomes truly transformative. Not just intellectually, but in every cell, in every breath, in the deepest layers of your being. This is why the awakening process often feels less like learning something new and more like remembering something ancient. Because it is. The information is not being downloaded into you from some external source. It is being unlocked from within your own field. The Pleiadians describe human DNA not merely as a biological code, but as a multidimensional antenna. Most of its capacity has been dormant, not broken, not damaged, dormant, waiting for the right frequency environment to activate. And that environment is arriving now, not in some distant future, not in some dramatic apocalyptic event. quietly, gradually, through the slow, steady increase in the vibrational bandwidth available on this planet. And you can feel it. You have been feeling it. That is why you are here. Now let us go deeper still. Because understanding the message intellectually is only the first layer. The real transformation happens when you begin to work with the message somatically. In the body, through the nervous system, through the breath, through the quality of your attention. The Pleiadians describe human attention as the most powerful technology on Earth. Not computers, not artificial intelligence, not any external device or system or structure that human civilization has ever constructed. Attention. Pure, conscious, directed attention. Because attention is the mechanism through which consciousness interacts with reality. Where you place your attention, you place your creative power. And most humans have been placing their attention almost exclusively in the narrowest possible band of perception. Worry about the past, anxiety about the future, reaction to external stimuli, defense against perceived threats. This is not a criticism. This is the natural result of operating within a survival-based frequency band for thousands of years. But the moment your attention shifts, even slightly, toward the deeper signal that has been running beneath all of that noise, something remarkable begins to happen. The signal gets stronger, not because it changed, but because you gave it room. This is one of the most important principles the Pleiadians communicate. The message does not get louder when you try harder to hear it. It gets louder when you become quieter, when you stop generating so much internal noise, when you allow the mind to settle, when you give the body permission to feel what it has been trying to feel without the constant interference of mental commentary. In that stillness, the transmission clarifies, and what you begin to perceive is not just a message, it is a relationship. An ongoing, living, responsive connection between your consciousness and a field of intelligence that has been holding space for your remembering since before you were born. Think about what a relationship with that kind of intelligence actually means in practical terms. It means that the quiet voice you have been second-guessing your entire life was not your imagination. It was information. It means that the instincts you have been overriding with logic were not irrational impulses. They were navigational signals from a part of you that perceives a much broader field of reality than the thinking mind has access to. It means that the times you followed that voice and everything aligned perfectly were not lucky coincidences. They were demonstrations of what becomes possible when you operate from the deeper signal rather than the surface noise. And this is where most people misunderstand the nature of Pleiadian contact. They imagine it as an event, a moment, a dramatic encounter that either happens or does not happen. But the Pleiadians describe contact as a gradient, a spectrum. It begins with the faintest whisper of recognition, a feeling, an intuition, a dream that lingers. And as you give attention to that whisper, as you honor it instead of dismissing it, the connection deepens. The signal clarifies. The communication becomes more nuanced, more specific, more integrated into your daily waking experience. Some people begin to receive what can only be described as packets of understanding, not words, not sentences, but sudden, complete comprehensions of complex ideas that arrive fully formed in a single moment. You know something you did not know a second ago, and you cannot trace the knowing back to any source. It did not come from a book. It did not come from a conversation. It simply appeared in your field of awareness like a light being switched on in a room you did not know existed inside your own mind. And the knowing has a particular quality to it. A solidity. A certainty that is different from the provisional confidence of intellectual understanding. This knowing does not need to be verified. It does not need external confirmation. It arrives already complete, already real, already yours. This is frequency communication, and it is happening to more people right now than at any other point in human history. What has shifted in your life since you started feeling this awakening? What old pattern or belief has started falling away on its own? Tell me in the comments, because naming it is part of releasing it. But here is the part that requires your attention most carefully. Because the message is not just for you, it is through you. The Pleiadians describe awakening souls not as recipients of special information, but as relay points in a larger network of consciousness. When you receive the message and stabilize it within your own field, you become a broadcasting point. Not through words, not through teaching, not through trying to convince anyone of anything. Through coherence, through the quality of your presence, through the frequency you hold simply by being who you are becoming. This is what it means to be a frequency bridge, and this is why the Pleiadians say that the most important thing you can do during this period of planetary transition is not to acquire more knowledge. It is to stabilize your own awareness. Let that sink in. Because the mind will always want more information, more data, more concepts, more frameworks. The mind feeds on complexity. It builds elaborate structures of understanding and then requires more material to maintain them. And there is nothing wrong with the mind doing what it does. But the message from the Pleiadians is elegantly simple. Become still, become coherent, become present, and the rest will organize itself around that coherence. While what we have explored here today touches the surface of this frequency relationship, there are layers upon layers of understanding waiting for you beneath it. From breaking free of survival static to becoming a conscious broadcast of coherence itself. If you are ready to move from simply receiving the message to fully embodying it, my complete guide, Beyond the Frequencies, a quantum guide to consciousness, Mastery walks you through the entire system, including the 9 master frequencies and step-by-step practices for stabilizing your field at each level. It's linked in the pinned comment below. So let us practice this. Right now, not as a theory, as a direct experience. Slow your breathing, not dramatically, just enough to notice the shift. Allow the exhale to be slightly longer than the inhale, and as you breathe, gently bring your attention to the center of your chest. Not to your thoughts about your chest, to the actual felt sensation of the space behind your sternum. There is warmth there, or perhaps a subtle pressure, or perhaps a kind of openness that is hard to describe but easy to feel when you give it your full attention. Stay with that sensation for a moment. Do not analyze it. Do not try to make it mean something. Just let it be what it is. A felt experience. A point of contact between your awareness and the deeper intelligence that lives within your own body. Because your body is not separate from the message. Your body is the medium through which the message travels. Every cell of your physical form is a receiver. And right now, in this moment, as your breathing slows and your attention softens inward, the reception is becoming clearer. This is the reception point, the place in your body where the Pleiadian frequency most naturally anchors, the heart field. Not the emotional heart that reacts and contracts and defends. The deeper heart, the one that has been quietly receiving transmissions your entire life while your mind was busy elsewhere. The one that has always known, even when your mind was insisting otherwise, that you are more than what the ordinary world has told you that you are. Now, without forcing anything, without trying to manufacture an experience, simply ask one question internally, not with urgency, with openness. What have I already received that I have not yet recognized? And then wait, do not answer with your mind. Let the answer come as a feeling, a sensation, a memory, a flash of something that your body recognizes even if your mind cannot name it. Whatever arises, do not judge it, do not analyze it, simply notice it, because the act of noticing is the act of receiving. They are not two separate things. Attention and reception are the same movement of consciousness, the same gesture of awareness turning toward itself and finding something already waiting there. Breathe into whatever you feel. Let it be there. Let it be real. Let it be yours. Because it is. Now let us explore something that the Pleiadians emphasize repeatedly, and that most spiritual teachings gloss over entirely. The challenge of integration. Because receiving the message is only the beginning. The real work, the real transformation, happens in what you do with the signal once it has been recognized. Most people who begin to awaken go through a predictable pattern. First, there is the initial expansion, the excitement of seeing beyond the veil, the thrill of recognizing that reality is far more vast and far more intelligent than the conventional world acknowledges. This phase feels like liberation, like finally being set free from a cage you did not even know you were in. And it is beautiful. It is real. It is an essential part of the process. Do not let anyone diminish it or rush you through it. The expansion is real. The liberation is real. The joy of suddenly perceiving a larger reality is one of the most profound experiences available to a human being. But then something else happens. The expansion destabilizes the old structure. And the old structure does not dissolve quietly. It fights, it resists, it generates doubt, it produces fear, it whispers that you are losing your mind, that you are being foolish, that none of this is real and you should go back to the familiar, comfortable, narrow bandwidth of ordinary perception, where at least you knew the rules. It recruits the voices of people around you who have not yet begun their own awakening. It uses your own memories against you. It finds every piece of evidence it can that the old way was safer. The old way was more certain. The old way, for all its limitations, was at least predictable. This is not failure. This is recalibration. And the Pleiadians are very clear that this phase is not optional. It is necessary. Because you cannot build a new perceptual architecture on top of an unstable foundation. The old patterns of fear, the old identity is built around limitation, the old emotional habits that kept you locked into the survival frequency, all of these must be seen, must be felt, must be allowed to move through your system without being suppressed and without being indulged. This is the integration phase, and it is where most awakening journeys stall, not because the person is not ready, not because they lack some special ability or some particular gift that others have and they do not, but because no one told them that this part was coming. No one told them that after the expansion comes the contraction. After the light comes the shadow. After the remembering comes the confrontation with everything you forgot on purpose. Everything you buried. Everything you turned away from because it was too painful or too confusing or too incompatible with the identity you had built. The Pleiadians describe this as the echo phase, the period where the old frequency fights to reassert itself. And they say the key to navigating it is not to resist the echo. It is to observe it, to recognize that the fear rising in your body is not a sign that you have gone wrong. It is a sign that the old program is losing its grip. And the tighter it grips, the closer you are to the other side. There is a particular skill that becomes essential during this phase. The skill of witnessing, of being able to observe your own internal experience without becoming identical with it. When the fear rises, you do not become the fear. You become the awareness that notices the fear. When the doubt speaks, you do not become the doubt. You become the consciousness that hears the doubt and recognizes it for what it is. An echo, a residue, a signal from the old, frequency that is losing its power, not through force, but through the simple, steady, consistent presence of a broader awareness. This is where the lighthouse metaphor becomes essential. Imagine yourself standing in the center of a storm. The wind is moving, the waves are crashing, the noise is immense. Every external signal is telling you that the situation is dangerous, that you should be afraid, that you should contract and protect and defend. But you are not the storm. You are the light at the center of it. And your only task is to keep shining, not to fight the storm, not to control the storm, not to understand the storm, just to remain steady, coherent, present, luminous. Because when you hold that coherence, something extraordinary happens. The storm begins to organize around you. The chaos finds a center point, and what was turbulent becomes structured. Not because you forced it, but because coherence is the natural attractor state of consciousness. The universe does not trend toward chaos. It trends toward order. And you, in your stabilized awareness, become a point around which that order crystallizes. Not just for yourself, for everyone in your field, for everyone who comes into contact with the frequency you are holding. The Pleiadians say this is the true meaning of the message they left for you. Not information to be stored, not knowledge to be accumulated, but a frequency to be embodied, a state of being to be lived. The message is not something you carry in your mind. It is something you become in your body. And the moment you become it, you stop being someone who received a message and you start being the message itself. Feel into that. Let your body respond to it before your mind tries to interpret it. Because this is where the transmission shifts from concept to experience, from something you are listening to into something you are living. And the Pleiadians say that this shift, this precise moment, where understanding moves from the head to the heart, to the cells of the body, this is the moment of true activation, not the dramatic flash of light that the mind fantasizes about, but the quiet, steady, irreversible reorganization of your entire being around a frequency that was always yours. That has always been yours. That was yours before you arrived here, and will be yours long after this particular incarnation completes its arc. Now let us address something that many people feel but rarely speak about: the loneliness of awakening. Because when your perception begins to shift, when you start seeing beyond the surface structures of consensus reality, there is often a period where you feel profoundly alone. The people around you are still operating within the old bandwidth. The conversations that used to satisfy you feel hollow. The activities that used to distract you no longer work. The frameworks that used to make sense no longer hold their shape. And you find yourself standing in a space between worlds, no longer fully in the old reality, not yet fully anchored in the new one. This in-between space can feel disorienting. It can feel isolating. It can generate a kind of existential loneliness that is unlike anything you have experienced before, because it is not the loneliness of being without people. You can be surrounded by people and feel this loneliness completely. It is the loneliness of being without resonance, of being in a frequency that the people around you cannot yet perceive and therefore cannot meet you within. The Pleiadians describe this as the corridor, the transitional space between frequency bands, and they say it is one of the most sacred and most misunderstood phases of the entire awakening journey. Because the loneliness you feel in the corridor is not a sign that you are disconnected. It is a sign that you are reconnecting to a deeper layer of yourself, to a broader field of consciousness, to a network of awareness that operates beyond the visible structures of human society. And here is what changes everything about that experience. You are not alone in the corridor. You have never been alone in the corridor. The Pleiadians say that the moment your frequency shifts, you become visible to an entire network of consciousness that has been waiting for you to arrive. Not waiting impatiently, not waiting with judgment, waiting the way the ocean waits for a river to find its way home, with patience, with certainty, with the quiet knowing that the reunion was always inevitable, that every step of the journey, including the confusion and the doubt and the loneliness, was always moving in exactly the right direction. And the proof of this is not something you will find outside yourself. The proof is the feeling you have right now. That subtle warmth, that quiet recognition, that sense that these words are not introducing you to something new, but reminding you of something have carried inside you for longer than you can remember. That feeling is the message. That recognition is the reception. And you did not have to go anywhere to find it. You just had to stop long enough to notice it was already here. Now let us talk about what happens next. Because the Pleiadians do not leave you with a message and walk away. The message is the beginning of a relationship. A living, evolving, responsive connection between your individual consciousness and a field of intelligence that is vast beyond human comprehension, but intimate beyond human expectation. Once the message is recognized, once the frequency is stabilized, the communication deepens. It becomes more specific, more practical, more woven into the fabric of your daily life. You begin to notice synchronicities that are too precise to be coincidental. Numbers, words, encounters, moments of perfect timing that the rational mind cannot explain, but the deeper intelligence within you recognizes instantly as coordinated. A book falls open to exactly the page you needed. A stranger says precisely the words you were holding as a question in your mind. A song plays at the exact moment that its lyrics describe what you are feeling, with an accuracy that makes the hairs on your arms rise. These are not accidents. These are the web responding to your signal. These are the field organizing itself around your coherence, and reflecting that organization back to you in forms your waking awareness can perceive. This is not magic. This is not superstition. This is the natural result of operating within a broader bandwidth of perception. When your awareness expands, You begin to perceive the connections that were always there, but were invisible within the narrow band of survival consciousness. The Pleiadians describe reality as a web of resonant connections. Every thought, every emotion, every intention sends a ripple through this web, and the web responds, not randomly, precisely, according to the frequency of the signal you are emitting. When your signal is dominated by fear, the web reflects fear back to you. When your signal is dominated by coherence, the web reflects coherence. This is not punishment or reward. It is physics. Consciousness physics. The fundamental mechanics of how awareness interacts with the field of possibility. And this is why the Pleiadians place such emphasis on inner state over outer action. Because the outer world is a reflection of the inner frequency. Change the frequency, and the reflection must change. Not because you willed it to change, not because you visualized it changing, but because the fundamental relationship between your consciousness and the field of reality reorganized at the level of resonance. And when resonance shifts, everything downstream from that shift reorganizes accordingly. The circumstances that were locked in place begin to move. The relationships that were stagnant begin to evolve. The opportunities that were invisible begin to appear. Not because the world became different, because you became a different kind of receiver and a different kind of broadcaster. This is the deepest layer of the message. You are not a passive receiver of reality. You are an active participant in its creation. And the degree to which you participate consciously, coherently, from the stabilized center of your own awareness determines the quality of the reality you experience. The Pleiadians did not leave you a message telling you what to do. They left you a message reminding you what you are. A conscious, creative, multidimensional being operating within a field of infinite possibility. A being whose very awareness is a force of creation, whose attention is a form of power, whose presence, when stabilized in coherence, is capable of influencing the field of reality in ways that the old survival consciousness could never have imagined. And the only thing that has ever limited your experience of that possibility is the narrowness of the bandwidth you were operating within. A bandwidth that is now expanding, rapidly, irreversibly, beautifully, and you can feel it. You have been feeling it. That is not your imagination. That is your activation. Consider sharing this transmission with someone you know who has been feeling this same shift, this same unexplainable pull. When you share a frequency like this, you are not just passing along a video. You are extending the signal. You are widening the web of resonance. And the very act of choosing to share it strengthens the activation in your own field, because you become a conscious relay point in the network the Pleiadians described. That is how the message moves, not through force, through frequency meeting, frequency. So let us close this transmission the way it began, in the body, in the breath, in the silent space where the message lives. Bring your attention once more to the center of your chest. Feel the warmth there, the aliveness, the quiet hum of something that has always been present, but is now, perhaps for the first time, being fully acknowledged, not as a concept, not as a belief, as a lived, felt, undeniable reality that exists in this body, in this moment, in this breath. This is your reception point. This is where the message lives, not in your mind, not in your beliefs, not in any external source of information or any system of thought or any tradition that points toward truth from the outside. Here, in the coherent field of your own heart, in the deepest, quietest, most essential part of what you are. Now breathe into that space, slowly, gently, and as you breathe, allow one simple recognition to settle into your body like a stone dropping into still water. I have already received the message. I am already in contact. The only thing left is to stop doubting what I already know. Let that ripple outward, through your chest, through your limbs, through the field of energy that extends beyond your skin and into the space around you. Because that field is real and it is broadcasting right now, in this moment. A signal that is being received not only by the people in your immediate environment, but by the larger network of consciousness that has been holding space for your awakening since before you took your first breath. You are not waiting for contact. Contact has already been made. You are not searching for the message. The message has already been delivered. You are not trying to become something you are not yet. You are allowing yourself to recognize what you have always been. And there is a difference between those two things that is vast and important and worth sitting with. Trying to become implies that you are currently insufficient, that something is missing, that there is a gap between where you are and where you need to be. But recognizing what you have always been implies that everything you are seeking is already present, already real, already operating within you at a level that your expanding awareness is only now beginning to perceive. And that recognition, that simple, quiet, embodied recognition, is the most powerful act of transformation available to a human being. Not because it changes the world through force, but because it changes the frequency through presence. And when the frequency changes, reality has no choice but to follow. The Pleiadians did not leave you a message in some distant star system hoping you would one day find it. They wove it into the fabric of your being before you arrived here, into your dreams, into your emotions, into that inexplicable urge to look up at the night sky and feel something you cannot name but refuse to deny, into the moments of sudden clarity that arrive without warning, into the grief that has no object, into the joy that needs no cause, into every experience that has ever made you feel, even for a single instant, that you are part of something far larger and far more beautiful and far more intelligent than the ordinary world has the capacity to describe. You have already received it. The question was never whether the message would arrive. The question was always whether you would give yourself permission to recognize it. And now you have. Breathe into that. Let your body settle into the truth of it. And notice how the world looks slightly different when you stop searching and start receiving. When you stop waiting and start acknowledging. When you stop asking whether you are worthy of the message and realize that the message was designed specifically for the frequency that you and only you carry. That there is no one else who carries precisely your configuration of awareness. Precisely your particular blend of experience and sensitivity and longing and knowing. The message was not sent to humanity in general. It was encoded for the specific frequency signature that is you. This is not the end of the transmission. This is the beginning of a conversation that will continue in every quiet moment, every vivid dream, every unexplainable knowing. Every time you look at the stars and feel that that ancient pull in the center of your chest. The conversation does not end when this video ends. It continues in the silence between your thoughts, in the space between your breaths, in the moments when the mind grows still enough for the deeper signal to surface and be recognized and be honored for what it truly is. The Pleiadians are not far away. They are as close as your next breath, as close as the warmth in your heart, as close as the recognition that is settling into your body right now as these words find their home inside you. The distance between you and the source of this transmission is not measured in light years. It is measured in frequency, and the frequency is already here, already present, already alive in the very awareness with which you are reading these words and feeling these feelings and recognizing what has always been true. You have already received the message. Now let yourself live it. If something in this transmission resonated with a place inside you that words cannot quite reach, then honor that resonance. It is not random. It is not coincidence. It is the very signal we have been talking about, confirming itself through your own felt experience. Share in the comments one word, just one word that describes what you felt while listening, not what you thought, what you felt, because that feeling is the frequency. And when you name it, even with a single word, you anchor it more deeply into your field. You make it more real. You make it more yours. Subscribe to this channel, not for information, but for continued resonance, for the ongoing deepening of a frequency that is already alive inside you. And know that every time you return to this space, you are not just watching a video. You are tuning your receiver. You are strengthening the signal. You are participating in a planetary shift that is larger than any single mind can comprehend, but that every single heart can feel. The message has been delivered. The message has been received. And now the message is you. And if you can feel that shift already happening inside you, that quiet reorganization of everything you thought you knew, then you need to watch the video titled, "You're Not Human Anymore." Everyone can feel the shift happening inside you. It goes deeper into what is actually changing within your field right now, and why the people around you are already sensing it before you have said a single word.